Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Bat Around. I'm your host, Paul Valley. With me, as always, from Pigtown Sports, he is Zach Moore. Good evening, Zach. How are you today, man? How was your weekend?
I'm burnt. If you can't tell, I've been outside all day. We had our playoff game today, which we won. Shout out to all my little 6 and 7 year olds, and then we went straight to the pool, and I'm cooked.
We got my baseball team got our first win of the year. We played 4 games. We lost 6-5, 7-4, and then we won today like 12-6, something like that. We've played really well, just hadn't gotten big hits and any big moments. But then we won today. It was 90 degrees by the middle of the game, and then we went to the pool after that. And so I was out in the sun all day myself. So I'm right there with you. Today's show brought to you by Help My Gambling Problem. If you or a loved one has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit helpmygamblingproblem.org for free confidential services. That's 1-800-GAMBLER or visit helpmygamblingproblem.org for free confidential services. Today's show also brought to you by Warnken Law. When you need results in Baltimore, you don't play small ball. If you've been hurt in a crash, call 443-RESULTS or visit warnkenlaw.com. That's 443-RESULTS or visit warnkenlaw.com. And Zach, let's not bury the lead here, man. We're going to get right into this. The Orioles lose a ball game today, 6-4. And not only do they lose, but they lose in a way that kind of has you grinding your teeth. There was a Gunnar Henderson error in that 5-run 6th inning that allowed the inning to continue. There was a Jackson Holiday glove flip that allowed Jesus Sanchez to score the go-ahead run. And then there was the double play that preceded all of it that wasn't. That would have gotten them out of the inning leading 4-1, and instead 4 runs scored after. And let's go through this a little bit. It's a ground ball to Gunnar up the middle. He fields the ground ball. Ernie Clement is running from first to second. Gunnar goes to tag Clement. He very clearly runs out of the baseline. Okay, Gunnar
6 feet.
6 feet out of the baseline.
And that's being generous.
Gunnar goes to tag him briefly, realizes he's way out of the baseline. He's going to be called out. Let me just go throw it to first, get the double play, get out of the inning. They do not call him out of the baseline. After the game, one umpire said Clement was doing the gentlemanly thing by getting out of the way to let Gunnar make a play to first.
Yeah,
Another
he
umpire,
was gentlemanly getting out of the way, giving himself up. That's an out, 100% of the time.
Yeah, 100% of the time. Another ump, or maybe it was the same ump. I can't remember. I don't really care.
The head umpire, the crew chief, is the one who just made that comment.
Yeah, the other ump said Clement established his own base path before Gunnar fielded the ball, which was clearly false because Gunnar fielded the ball running towards Clement. Clement saw that, ran away from Gunnar. When Gunnar started to go to tag him, he moved further out of the baseline. So Gunnar was like, well, I'm not even going to try because I don't want that run to score. I got to get this out of first base. And then they don't call him out.
So here's something a lot of people are overthinking too, right? How tall is Gunnar Henderson? 6'3", 6'4"?
6'3", yeah, I think he's 6'4".
The average wingspan for a 6'3", 6'4" guy, roughly about what, 7 feet, roughly?
Something like that.
So we're looking 3.5 foot per arm. Mm-hmm. The arm wasn't even fully extended, but we'll say the arm was at least 2 feet out, right? You only get 3 feet from your established baseline once the tag starts. So if the tag starts and his arm, we'll say is, and we're being generous here, 2.5 feet, and he went how far out wide of him? 3, 4, 5 feet probably, to the point where he had to dive back into second base and then army crawl another 4 feet because he was that far out. We're missing the point here. Regardless if he established some kind of base path or a nonchalant tag, he was 3 feet out of this established zone or whatever base path that they think they came up with. They blew the call. And the fact is they made a mockery of it after the game with these comments. Yeah. And nobody's going to, you can ask a rules committee or a head umpire or stuff like, you're not going to get an answer because these guys don't throw each other under the bus. But it was a blown call. The problem was the error before it. Gunnar Henderson extended the inning. You know, routine plays have killed this team sometimes. Jackson Holiday the night before can't go to his right very well. Misses a ball up the middle. Ernie Clement makes that same play twice, and we don't score runs. So it's the little things that are holding this team back. But Gunnar, could he have maybe fully extended the arm? Sure. Sure. But it goes into my title that I put on my show on my show here tonight and the thumbnail. We need more out of Gunnar Henderson overall. And I think he started to play. Look, the beginning of the season was so bad that what he's doing right now is better. But it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Gunnar defensively right now is, I have it that he's holding this team back maybe. And do you think it's fair to say? Because he's not playing up to his potential.
I think it's fair to say, because if Gunnar was going the way we know Gunnar is capable of going, just from an offensive standpoint, this team they've become hard to beat every game anyway. They've been playing really good baseball for the last couple of weeks.
And Gunnar's not going yet. Neither's really Pete.
But when Gunnar is going at his best, who do you pitch to? And then you look at his defense, and when's the last time you saw Gunnar, aside from the line drive that Guerrero hit the other day that Gunnar dropped on the dive and threw him out at first base? When's the last time you saw Gunnar make a diving play and get up and make the throw over the
Drops
first base?
a lot.
He goes to make the throw, and he's trying to transfer it so quickly he drops it.
And I think I think the range is good. Like is he Bobby Witt good? No, but is he better than 75% of the league? I think so. Yeah. But like you're saying, every time, man, it's like he's a hair on fire all the time, and you know that we've watched him for years. But there's some times that like the elites, they make that play, they make it look smooth. Gunnar can make those plays. We've seen him do it. I don't know how many times. He did it all
last year. He did it all last year.
And it's just sometimes it's like it's almost like the game sped back up for him a little bit. Is that fair?
I think so, because I was about to say he's got to find a way to slow himself down.
Yeah.
It's so funny you just said it's like the game sped back up, because in my mind I'm thinking he's got to find a way to slow himself down.
Yeah.
When he's trying to make those not routine plays. Right? Like, yeah, you've got to get to the ball quick. You've got to get it out quick. But there's got to be a mechanism and an inner timing thing going on with you that like, yeah, if I have this amount of time to throw the ball. It's not every backhanded play in the hole needs to be a transfer and throw immediately. Like,
it's almost like he forgets he can throw 95 across the diamond.
Yeah. Well, I 100% agree with you. I remember I was playing, and again, when I talk about me playing baseball, I'm just talking about playing the game of baseball and like the things that I've noticed just from all my years of playing. I'm not comparing myself to a major leaguer, but I notice when I start playing, because I play a lot of shortstop, and I notice that when I start making errors, it's because I'm moving my feet way too fast. Mm-hmm. I'm moving way too fast and trying to do too much too quickly and playing like my hair's on fire instead of just letting the game come to me, getting myself set, and realizing you got to catch the ball before you can do anything. And that's I feel like that's kind of what's going on with Gunnar, that he just doesn't have that inner clock right now that's ticking at the same beat. It's a little fast sometimes, a little slow other times, and he's just got to get much more consistent. Yeah. Do I think he's holding this team back? I mean, what's the alternative? Is the question we should be asking.
Yeah, I don't want to say, like, I don't want to make it sound negative, but right. It's like, is this? He's got to be better. Yeah, this team is on the cusp of finally, like, maybe figuring it out. But Gunnar being that, like, 70-30 player right now, where he's good 70% of the time, I think is holding the team back a little bit. Him and Pete both, and I think they both deserve a little bit of criticism here, because there's times that, hey, we got a lot of guys and runners in scoring position here, and then Pete comes up first pitch, strikes out, or first pitch ground out or pop up. Like it's like both of them right now are trying so hard to be the hero instead of just playing baseball. And I feel like that maybe is holding the team back a little bit from even doing better than they were. I know we're going to get into how good the offense has been, but I feel like they could be even better.
Yeah. Oh, the offense could absolutely be even better, because you're not getting, despite the 2-run homer from Ward today, you're not getting the power that you expected from him. Gunner's hitting 222. Something along those lines. His OPS is hovering right around 700. This is your team leader. Basayo's clearly dealing with some shit. You know what I mean? And
he got benched today. I don't know if you noticed that.
And I liked what Albarnez said. Albarnez basically said he wasn't taken out for matchups. He was taken out because he's going through it right now, and he's got to learn how to play nicked up. He's a young player who's learning how to play when everything's checked out. He's fine, but he's beat up. And so
basically what he's saying is every time he thinks he's getting hurt, it almost looks like he gets shot by a bazooka. And then the next day you're like, oh, he's fine. I think he wants him to realize that, like, hey, you need to learn how to play a little nicked up and not think that everything's a problem and complain about it. Like, he's 21. He's going to complain about it a little bit. But he's treating him like a big leaguer, which I like. He's not kind of putting him on a pedestal. He's not babying him a little bit. Like, oh, it's okay. You're sore. Like, go ahead and go give us your best. No, it's like, if you can't give me your best right about now or the best you think you can do, let's go ahead and come sit down, which I like about it. And I could go into Alvarez for days, and I know a lot of people in this fan base don't like him. But from the stuff that I've been being told lately, like, Alvarez has flipped this organization upside down, and I absolutely love the guy. And I wish I could go further into it, but this dude, like, this organization needed this guy.
I'm an Alvarez guy. I like Alvarez. From the things that you've told me that's going on behind the scenes, from the things that I'm seeing with my own eyes, yeah, he's a young manager who has never managed at the big league level before. So he's going to have his bumps along the way. It's going to be, trial by fire with him sometimes, and sometimes he's going to make the wrong call, which we have seen time and again this season. But I think that
you know what every human being does?
100. Dude, I was playing a game today, and we had a runner on third base and one out, and my pitcher struck out a batter, and the catcher didn't throw it around the horn. I forgot the runner was on third base, and I yelled at the catcher, "Hey, we throw the ball around the horn in this league." And my pitcher goes, "We don't throw the ball around the horn with a runner on third in this league." I got it from everybody. It happens. It happens. You have brain farts in games, man. It just happens. Look, I look at Gunnar. And he absolutely needs to be better. 100% needs to be better. You say he's good 70% of the time. I don't know that he's been good 70% of the time this year. I think it's probably closer to a 55-45 or a 60-40 situation. And the average is going to come up because he's too good of a player for it not to. But I think back to Manny Machado in 2017. Do you remember how bad of a start Manny got off to? And he didn't really get going until August. Manny ended that year with the lowest batting average of his career, the second lowest batting average of his career, 259, and the lowest on base percentage of his career, 310. He had a 782 OPS. That's the lowest he's had since 2017, tied with 2023 at 782 also. Yeah. Sometimes superstars have slow starts to a season. I look back at Cal back in, 1990. Cal hit something like 256 with 13 home runs, and they were like, everybody's like, man, Cal had a really bad year. And then the next year he came out, he had over 300, he had over 30 homers, he had the highest WAR season of any shortstop in the history of baseball, still to this day, and he won an American League MVP on a team that was 35 games below 500. Yeah. Sometimes star players have bad years. I think Gunnar is trying to put too much on his shoulders. We've talked about this every show. Gunnar's trying to put too much on his shoulders, and could he benefit from moving down in the order? Could it be one of those situations where it's like, hey, stop batting first, stop batting second, let's put him fifth behind Pete, and get some space between Pete and Basayo and see what he can do there. Gunner's going to hit. He's going to come up with big hits for this team. It just hasn't happened to this point yet.
I mean, I've since May 15th I've pulled it. He's hitting 267 runners in scoring position, and it sounds good. But he's only got 6 RBIs. Like, you're just not driving anybody. And now, granted, I give him a lot of credit. Like, they've fixed the strikeout issues. So it's nice to see that. I just feel like there's more there. I mean, right now he's on pace. My buddy Alex just texted me. He's on pace for a 2.8 WAR season, which is below.
That's a third of what it should be.
Yeah, well, it's below an average MLB starter.
Yeah.
I mean,
Steven Shank said, "Do you trade him at this point?" And no. Here's the thing that I come to. One, he's not a free agent till what? After the 2029
2030, right?
Something like that, right? I think it's 2028 he's a free agent, because I think Adley's a free agent after 2027.
I'm pretty sure Gunnar is after that.
I think it's 28, man. I'm almost certain of it.
Because I thought him and Holiday were the same year somehow. Free agent 2029, so you're right.
Yeah.
After 28, yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing that you have to ask yourself. If you're trading Gunnar, who's playing shortstop?
Nobody.
Right. Does Blaze play shortstop every day?
Gonna have to.
Blaze is gonna and I love Blaze Alexander. I'm going to talk about how great Blaze has been here shortly. But is Blaze a starting shortstop on a playoff team?
No.
The
playoff
way
team just traded him for a bullpen arm.
right. Like I love Blaze is quickly becoming one of my, and it's so funny because a month ago we were talking about how he's the worst hitter on the team, and a month later, like I love Blaze. He gives you good defense at third, second, short. He's serviceable in the outfield, but he's got a cannon for an arm, and he's hitting the ball and he's hitting it for power. Like again, we're gonna talk about this here in a minute. I've become a huge Blaze fan. I'm okay with him playing shortstop, every now and again to get Gunnar off of his feet. But if Blaze Alexander is the everyday shortstop for the ball, because it's not going to be Jackson Holiday. Holiday's arm isn't strong enough to do it, right? But if Blaze is an everyday shortstop because you traded Gunnar Henderson, the warts will start to show. The warts will start to show on the player. What Blaze is doing right now, he's filling his role beautifully. I'm not touching that. And Gunnar's. I said this to you a few weeks ago on the show. I said Gunnar is going to get going, and then you said to me, "What if he doesn't?" I mean, we're 2.5 months into this season. What if he doesn't?
Yeah,
like.
And I'm not saying that like what he's doing now is obviously we just know that there's better, and it's still a major league player, right? And we're not saying he's bad, send him down, trade him, anything like that. Not saying anything like that. We're just saying that we know that there's somewhere in between that 9 WAR player and what was he last year? I forget. 6, 5.
He was like a 5.6 WAR player last year,
and he was hurt most of the year and still hit 270 something. Like we know that the real Gunnar Henderson lies in between those 2 seasons, in my opinion. What's going on right now, I think, is just it's an anomaly for him, and I think it's something he obviously can control, but he's just trying too hard. Yeah, and it's all mental. I just believe it's all mental.
He had 6 home runs 2 weeks into the season. 2 months later, he's hit 7 since. The power is not gone. The power is not gone. You know what I mean? But he's slowed down. He got homer happy there at the beginning. It looked like he was trying to pull everything. It looked like he was trying to hit everything out of the ballpark. When Gunnar's going at his best, he's a line-to-line hitter. He can hit the ball for power to all fields. His opposite field power is. When's the last time you saw Gunnar hit an opposite field home run? I can't. I don't. Has he hit one in 2 years to the opposite field? I mean, you're talking about a guy who hit a ball over Mount Baltimore a couple of years ago before they moved the wall back in, and he's a lefty. When's the last time you saw Gunnar go oppo taco? It's if he's not pulling it, he's not going deep. I don't know, man. And a lot of times he gets himself out. I think I like the at-bats recently. He's laying off a lot of pitches he was swinging at earlier in the year. I just think that he's pressing. I really do. I really think that he's still trying. The Orioles offense is picking up. The team's getting better, and he's kind of getting left in the dust by everybody else.
His first home run of the season last year was the last one he's hit the opposite way. So you're talking on April 17th against Tanner Bibby.
So that's 29 home runs since his last opposite field home run.
Yeah. It was 109 off the bat, went 393 in a 2-0 count, and that was the last one. 417.
Gunnar has crazy power to all fields. I mean, one of the things that I loved about them, about what they did with Camden Yards and pushing that wall back was, look at that power alley. How many balls is Gunnar going to hit into that gap in left center field and turn what would be a double in most parks into a triple? And he's not doing that. I feel like if Gunnar goes to the opposite field, it's a mistake. Mm-hmm. Every ball that I think that's fair to say. Every ball that he hits is pulled. Yeah. And when Gunnar's just pulling the baseball, he's rolling over a lot. I don't care if he hits a ball 107 miles an hour off the bat, if it's a line drive right at the first baseman, or a hard ground ball to the second baseman, or ground ball or a line drive right back to the pitcher. Mm-hmm.
It's actually, so I'm looking at his oppo numbers in his career, 2022, 33%, 2023, 25%, 2024, 24%, 2025, 23%, 2026, 18%.
Mm-hmm. Gunnar's getting pull happy.
Yeah.
He's getting
Well,
pull happy.
I think definitely this year. This year he's 47% pull. It's the first time in his career he's over 40. But most of the time he sat about 37, 38% of the time in the middle of the field, which would be fine for me. I think Gunnar can hit the ball hard up the middle. This year he's at 35. It's his lowest, which is still nice, but it's that big 47% pull to 18% oppo this year. So, I mean, the numbers speak to exactly what you're saying. Again, I think it's mental.
Yeah.
And he's a great player. He's a great player. It's completely fixable, but I do think his play right now has held this team back from being a much better team.
Well, and here's the thing that I think that you're saying that people may miss when you say it. It's not the idea that having Gunnar out there is making the team worse.
Yeah.
It's the idea that Gunnar not playing to his potential is making the team worse than if he was out there playing to his potential. Yeah. If you had 2020, if you had
even last year's Gunnar,
if you had last year's Gunnar out there, a guy who hits 276, he hit what 360 with runners in scoring position last year.
Yeah, that's been the difference, honestly.
If you have that Gunnar, and the Orioles are a much better offensive ball club. If he's just hitting doubles and getting on base,
54 RBIs last year.
Yeah, and with runners in scoring position, and if he's stealing 30 bags, that's a player. That's a two hitter, right? Yeah. And that's where he's hitting every game. He's batting second. That's a two hitter on your ball club.
Do you know how good he was last year?
Yeah,
like we'll take the power out of it completely. The dude had 24 strikeouts with runners in scoring position last year and 22 walks while hitting 342. So we can talk about that down year all we want. Gunnar Henderson had a really good year last year.
Yeah,
like Gunnar a really good year.
It's so funny because the last year kind of started similar to the way this year started, and it felt like in big moments he was just not coming through. And I remember saying it like Gunner's got. I posted on X. I was like, Gunnar is the face of this team, and he fails in the spotlight. And it felt like as soon as I said that, he hit like 400 the rest of the year with runners in scoring position. Oh, I've said it. You know, I don't pull punches much to my downfall sometimes. Gunner's got to be better. And again, the caveat here is we're not saying that Gunnar being on the team is bad. Being on the field is bad for the team. It's Gunnar not being Gunnar is worse than where this team could be. This team is playing worse than where they could be because Gunnar hasn't lived up to what he's supposed to be. Like you said, it's a mental thing. It's a mental thing, and you're waiting to see that game. I thought
we saw it.
I thought it was yesterday. Because the Orioles scored 13 runs on Friday night, and all those runs basically scored without Gunnar. Gunnar was 1 for 5, and that hit came in his last at bat, and it was a single in the right field, like a ground ball single in the right field. Yeah. And then you see Gunnar come out the next day and go 3 for 4. The problem was the rest of the team only had 3 hits, and all 3 of those hits were home runs, but they lose that game 6-4. And then today, Gunnar goes right back to another 0-for. Yeah. You know, and so he's just got to be better. 100%. He's got to be better. And it's so funny because the numbers have proven that Gunnar's a better hitter as a leadoff hitter than a 2-hitter. And Ward is a better 2-hitter than he is a 1-hitter. And yet I feel like the last 3 weeks has been Ward 1, Gunnar 2 every single night.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, because you want Gunnar Henderson to hit with runners in scoring position. That's why.
Mm-hmm. So, look, they're not going to... What do you think it's going to take to move him down in the order?
I don't know.
I don't think they're ever going to. And again, I'm not saying he needs. I'm not saying he needs to hit 7th, but maybe hit him 5th or even 3rd once in a while, just to change it up a little bit. Get Adley batting 2nd. You know, Adley's got.
I like Adley a lot in 2nd.
Adley has got some crazy freaking numbers over his last 18 games. His on base numbers are otherworldly over his last 18 games. Again, we're going to get into that in a little bit here. Do want to ask you before I ask you, Today's show brought to you by Glenn Clark Radio. If you missed anything from Glenn Clark Radio this week, including conversations with Danny Coulombe, Creed Willems, Mike Bordick, and Baltimore native Alex Freeman, who will be playing for Team USA in the World Cup, you can find them in the Glenn Clark Radio Week in Review feature at PressBoxOnline.com. And as always, watch or listen to GCR every Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. at PressBoxOnline.com/radio or right here at PressBox's Facebook and YouTube pages. Look, when I think that we agreed that we'd like to see the Orioles win 4 of 6 on this road trip, but we'd be good with 3-3. They went 3-3.
They easily could have went 4 or 5.
Yeah, they could have gone 4-2 or 5-1. But they went 3-3 on this road trip. But they started 3-1.
Yeah.
Does losing the last 2 leave that bitter taste in your mouth, even though the ultimate result was what we said we'd be okay with?
A little bit, because I felt like today was a winnable game that they didn't that after that whole like error and then the umpire show, they didn't stop the bleeding. And then they came right out and had the next 2 guys on and didn't capitalize. Like you shot yourself in the foot. And that's why I didn't want to harp on the umpire stuff too much. It was one play, but they had an opportunity to get out of there with one run.
Right. They could have gotten right back into it.
Right back in it. And they didn't. And that's their fault. And I
scored
put it on
4
Twitter.
runs, and all of it came in one inning. You got to do better than that.
That's what they do all the time.
Yeah,
that's what they do all the time, man. And it's from me, Baz was pretty pissed, or Boz, I'm sorry. He was pretty pissed, and you could have called a mound visit. What's his face? Albie was already out there. Just walk out there and calm everybody down. Let it kind of blow over for a little bit. I mean, these are adults. Like they would have gotten over it fairly fast. You could have faked a bee sting for all I care. You could have did something to just kind of give guys time to just let it go. I don't think Baz controlled him. I don't want to say controlled. Handled himself perfectly because he could have got right back out of it in the next batter and didn't. It's the little things like that. And we've seen it a lot this year where like when one bad things happen, they don't come right back the next pitch and do something really well with it. It's usually something kind of snowballs into somewhat of a big inning, sometimes a 3-run home run. Those are the little things that I'd like to kind of put the blame on them for. And I think they would probably agree with me if they listened. There's times that they get a little ahead of themselves and they don't stop the bleeding. But yeah, I think that one kind of puts a little sting in, or bad taste in my mouth. It's a winnable ball game, man.
Yeah.
And then last night too, it's just these things happen. The game in Boston with Bassett got hurt. It's an unfortunate thing. But again, it was 3-1 after that home run, or was it 4-1? I can't remember.
It was 3-1.
And then it got out of control. It's just, and those games happen because the Orioles do it to other teams too. But they got to find a way to just find a happier medium.
And I think that's the key to the game. I think that's the key to the team is like today, that play it's blown. It's a blown call by the umpire. They're never gonna. I mean, it's rare that an umpire says, "You know what? I blew that." I think the only time we've seen it is when that umpire blew Galarraga's perfect game 16 years ago.
Yeah,
like otherwise,
it needs to be a reviewable play. Everything else is.
It does need to be reviewable, and but you're also never going to get those umpires to acknowledge that they made a mistake, right?
You don't have to. Somebody else acknowledge it for you,
right? So what you have to do is not give up 4 runs after that play, not give up 3 straight base hits after that play.
Yeah,
not have your 2 middle infielders who were both back-to-back #1 overall prospects make boneheaded plays in the inning that extended the inning. It's and allowed runs to score. Just when things don't go your way, the difference between those really great disciplined teams and the Orioles right now is what the Orioles allowed to happen today. You think the Dodgers or the Braves let what happened today happen? No. Or do they go out there and they find a way to keep that 4-0 lead intact, even if it's 4-1 now, 4-3 now, and they stop the bleeding?
Yeah.
Bad shit happens. It's like that Rolling Stones song. You don't always get what you want, but move on. Find a way to win a ball game that you led 4-0 in the 6th inning.
Yeah.
Win that, but I mean that's twice now in the last week plus against the Blue Jays, where you had a 4 or 5 run lead later in the second half of the ball game and did not win. You've got to win those ball games. Think about where the Orioles are right now. If they hold on up 5-0 against the Blue Jays, if they hold on up 4-0 against the Blue Jays, where are they now? They're in the wild card spot. They're a 500 ball club.
Yeah,
that's where they are.
The problem is you keep playing catch up all year. The goal shouldn't be 500 at this point. It should be 5 games over, 10 games over. Like, set your goal a little higher. Like 500 to me is just getting out of the dweller. You know, I don't care. Go make a run. The talent is there.
Mm-hmm.
Talent's there.
We've seen it. We've seen it. Yeah,
it's there. It's just got to be put together.
And then yesterday, I had a feeling that yesterday was going to go the way that it did, because I was watching Bradis pitch in the first inning, and he gave up a lot of hard contact but managed to get a double play to get out of that inning. Then I watched him come out in the second inning and gave up a lot of hard contact. He gave up 3 base hits in that inning, only allowed 1 run. And I was watching the game with my wife. I didn't say it to her. I said it in my mind. I was like, he's going to get rocked in the 3rd inning. And then I had to go do. I had to go do something when I came back. I had to go get a shower to get ready for the restaurant. I come downstairs and it's now 4-1 or 3-1 or whatever the score was.
Yeah, I think there was a play that potentially maybe should have been. No, it was a challenge. They didn't challenge it. Would have got out of the inning, and the next pitch was a 3-run home run. Mm-hmm. Like this team doesn't challenge it. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, all day today. There were pitches that were balls that were called strikes and they didn't challenge it. But also Jackson doesn't make that play up the middle yesterday. Right. Holiday doesn't make that play, and if he makes that play,
it wasn't like a routine play, but it's a play that I feel like a good, not like an average, like a good second baseman makes. And look, you're number 1 man. Like, go be that guy and go figure out how to knock that ball down.
Right.
He did. At least Ernie got cut by what, 2 teams? Is Ernie a good second baseman, or is he just an above-average major league player that's hitting really well? Mm-hmm. I'd say maybe he's probably close to good. I don't think he's. And when I say good, I'm talking like, I'm not saying like Bobby Witt good. I'm saying like, a guy who's like maybe a step below that A tier. Right? I'd say Ernie Clement's right there, high B tier.
How many A tier second basemen are there in the league?
Not many.
Right.
Probably not many.
Right.
So maybe Ernie Clement is an A tier. I don't know. But he gets to that ball and it's the difference in the game. Mm-hmm. But you don't look at Ernie Clement as a guy that you would say is an A tier. But he plays like it.
Mm-hmm. At least against the Orioles.
That's what you want Holiday to be.
Right. And the fact that we're saying that about a guy who was the first overall pick in the draft and was number 1 overall prospect kind of sucks. If I'm being.
But he's still the 10th youngest player in the league. Yeah, there's still plenty of time.
Yeah, there's plenty of time. His at-bats have been a lot better this year. Yeah. He's hitting the ball a lot harder this year. His OPS is way up compared to his first year and a half. So I'm not really worried about Holiday, but it's just you have opportunities to win ball games that good teams take advantage of, and that great teams take advantage of. The Orioles are a good team. I think that we can agree that the Orioles are a good team. We've seen enough of their play the last couple of weeks to say, you know what, this is a team that when they go out there, they can legitimately win every night. But are they going to make the plays that they need to make to win every night? And we saw in this Blue Jay series the last 2 days, they haven't been able to do it. Yeah. And that's what's the most frustrating about them, is because like we've been saying all year, the talent is there. When they weren't producing, it's like, well, they're going to start producing at some point. Now they're producing, and they're still making like the little mistakes that don't show up in a scorebook. Yeah. Those little mistakes that come back to bite you. Today's show brought to you by the latest edition of Press Box, which is available now, but it is the final days to pick up the most recent issue. On the cover, Bill Ordine looks at how Preakness will be different moving forward. And actually, let me... there might be something about the other one. Sorry about that. I only copied one part of it. There might be something about the next one that's coming up.
I gotta talk about this. So Randall put a comment up, says, I don't like Alvarez one bit. This team needs a coach who knows how to win and win a World Series. Alvarez's not that guy one bit. Another Elias screw up. Alvarez, Alvarez walked upstairs in the warehouse and took over this franchise. I don't think a lot of people know that. Him and Donnie Ecker walked up in there and changed everything. Flip the table over, if you will. Mm-hmm. They're doing things their way the last 2 weeks. And it showed on the field, I feel like. This team's played a lot better. Since they've kind of taken over, and not to mention, they've also taken over completely the minor league player development. Like, Matt Blood is no longer overseeing that. It's Donnie Ecker and Craig Alvarez. Since they've taken over, Donnie Ecker now spends more time with the hitters. This is what he does. He's now doing this, right? They're the fifth best offense since May 15th. And I know you wanted to talk about this too. They've scored the fifth most runs. So I'm not going to say that Alvarez is not the guy. Because how many guys, we've had two, would walk upstairs and say, this shit ain't working. We're doing it my way. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest with ourselves. He did that. And I respect him for it. I don't think he's a one-and-done manager. I think he's going to be here for a long time. And I think they're giving him the keys to the castle because they think he's that good.
Well, and the fact that he had the confidence to do something like that, yeah. and you can tell because when's the last time Weston Wilson played? And then they just DFA'd him.
Yeah.
How often does Tyler O'Neill get in the lineup anymore?
Not often.
You're not seeing, it's a lefty on the mound. Tyler O'Neill in his 2 for 39 against left-handed pitching, he's going to play today. You're not seeing that.
Yeah.
And I think that it's palpable. You can feel it. You can feel the changing of the tide in the last 2 weeks. And, you and I talked about this off the air about a week or so ago about how, Alvarez and Ecker are kind of running the organization from top to bottom with as far as the player development and things on the field are concerned. We talked about that. I didn't know that he went up there and essentially was like, this isn't cutting it. We're doing it my way. That's news to me, which is, I think it also makes me respect the guy a lot more. The thing that I was looking at with Alvarez, where I don't blame him at all, look, he's made mistakes, but that happens. Managers make mistakes.
He's a rookie.
Even the best managers make mistakes every now and again, right? Buck left Zach Britton in the bullpen in a 16-inning game up in Toronto or 14-inning game, whatever it was, in the playoffs, and they lost, right?
For Ubaldo Jimenez. You could have brought in Keegan Aiken in that game if he was alive back then and pitching, and I wouldn't have cared. But Ubaldo Jimenez?
Yeah, right. Like, some of the best managers we've ever seen still make those mistakes. But from everything that we saw and heard and everything that we know about the coaching staff, it didn't seem like this was Alvarez's baby. It seemed like somebody else was telling him what to do. And now, I have been actively thinking to myself, these lineups look more Alvarez-ish, more like Albie has taken over, and you just put. You just confirmed it to me, essentially, and I think that's awesome. I think that's what a guy who wants to win, who wants to run his team the way he wants to run. I think that's what you have to do, and I think, and you also told me that it's not really, and I won't say too much, right? But Elias lets his guys do their jobs.
Yeah,
if he puts you in a position,
I asked flat out. I was like, "Does Mike make the lineups?" They said, "No, he's hands off."
Yeah.
But they didn't say Albie made the lineups either. They just said he's hands off.
Yeah. If Elias has hired you to do a job, he allows you to do the job, is the gist that I got from you about 10 days ago. So if that's the case, then Alvarez going up there, they probably respected him more for doing that. And then it probably reaffirmed to them that he was the right guy for them to hire.
Yeah.
So I love it. I'm excited to see what he can do with this franchise moving forward. Look, this is a team that had, I think it was like 7 or 8 new guys running down the orange carpet on opening day. I couldn't believe how many guys were making. On opening day?
Between 17? Opening days, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, Mayo, Basayo, all of them weren't there.
Yeah.
But from opening day to opening day, it was 17 new players.
Yeah. I could not believe how many times I heard making his Orioles debut, running down that orange carpet. Brand new manager, brand new coaching staff, except for the pitching, the pitching coaches. All new players. it's going to take some time to gel, and I think that they're gelling right now. The team in that locker room is super confident. We may not be as confident in them, but they're super confident, and we've been seeing it on the field. They got a tough stretch of games coming up now. Before we get into it, again, today's show brought to you by Pressbox Print. These are the final days to pick up the most recent issue of Pressbox. We're on the cover. Bill Ordine looks at how Preakness will be different moving forward as it returns to Pimlico, and also inside, Luke Jackson looks at what Trey Hendrickson brings to the Ravens and much more. But be on the lookout for the new print issue for free at your Baltimore area highest dairy stores, and also read it at PressBoxOnline.com. Tough stretch of games that the Orioles have coming up. They got Seattle, then they got the Padres coming in town. The Padres are reeling right now. At one point, they lost 10 of 11. The Padres are reeling right now. Then they got to go back. They got to go out and play Seattle. They got to play the Dodgers, and they end in playing the Angels, I think, on that 10-game West Coast trip.
I hate the West Coast.
I know, man, because like you want to watch
probably
the
hate
game.
the East Coast, but still.
No, like you want to watch the game, but it's like the earliest it's starting is 9 o'clock on a weekday. Like, ugh. But I digress. So back on May 16th, the Orioles lost to the Nationals 13-3. It was the 8th time in 9 games that they scored 3 runs or less. Since that game, the offense is averaging 5.55 runs per game. They've scored 6+ runs 10 times in the last 20 games. Alonso, believe it or not, in those 20 games, 295 batting average, 876 OPS, 5 home runs, 17 RBI. Kobe Mayo in 13 games, 4 home runs, 9 RBI, and 812 OPS. Adley, this is 18 games, 5 doubles, a triple. He's got 2 home runs, 12 RBI, 14 walks. His on-base percentage is almost, I think it's 404, or approaching 400. I think it was 392 when I last looked. 392 over those 18 games with an 870 OPS. Kalzer just going bananas. 20 games since then. 360 batting average, 1151 OPS, 6 home runs, 15 RBI, and then Blaze Alexander. We talked about how he's become one of my favorite players. Yeah. He's got some pop in that bat. 348 batting average. He's got 1,001 OPS since May 17th. 4 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs, 11 RBI, and 3 stolen bases. The Orioles' offense is really starting to gel, starting to click, which is why it's so much more important for Gunnar to get going now, because it lengthens that lineup. And really, since Holiday got back, you have a guy who takes good at-bats at the bottom of the order. He's taking good at-bats. Blaze is taking good at-bats. Kalzer's tearing the cover off the baseball. Do you feel confident in this order 1 through 9 on any given night at this point?
It still lingers in my mind that they struggle. I shouldn't say struggle. They lay a goose egg once in a while, and maybe that's just baseball. I don't follow other teams that often, but when you look at it, a high end is 5, maybe 5.2 runs a game, and the Orioles are sitting around 4.6, 4.7, so they're not far off. So maybe everybody does it too. I don't know. So that's always in my mind. But yeah, going into every game now it's like you're just waiting for that big inning. And that's sometimes it's a great thing, right? You pile it on in one inning, but I would like to see them get a little bit more like push a run across here, push a run across there, hit a 2-run home run here, push another run across here, like put pressure on every single inning, kind of say. And I think plenty of us, maybe it's a little bit of PTSD. We've seen this team kind of score in bunches and then not for like a couple good innings and then really make it interesting instead of stepping on the throat. And I think that's why I'm not fully bought in just yet, because they don't know how to step on a throat just yet. And it's been 2 years. Yeah. They got close the other day, and I said it, shoot for 10 in Boston, right? And I think at the time I think that day that I said it, it finished with 8.
Yeah, they won 8-2, I think.
Yeah, and that was fine, right? But it could have been worse. It should have been worse, hopefully. But you kind of let Bayo back into it. And you let him have like 2 or 3 good innings there. Throwing the ball fairly well, got 9 straight outs or something like that. That's where you step on the throat. That's where you get him pulled and sent back to AAA in like the 3rd inning because it's so bad out there. I think they let him. They let their bullpen, Boston's bullpen, off the hook there, in my opinion. Yeah. And that's where I want to see a little bit more consistency.
I agree. You win that game 8-2, and it looks like you blew them out. But it was it was 6-0 after one.
Right.
And then you scored 2 runs in the 5th inning, I think it was. You scored 2 runs, and you didn't score in 7 of the 9 innings that you played.
Yeah.
For me, it was I agree with you. They needed to step on the throat of the Red Sox that day, and they kind of they didn't let them back in the game so much as they just
They just left their bullpen off the hook.
Yeah,
you could have annihilated that bullpen.
You let them off the hook is the best way to put it. That game, the Orioles should have scored probably 15 runs in that game. They had the opportunity to do it, and they just. The other thing about this offense that drives me up a freaking wall is how often they get 2 guys on with nobody out and don't score.
Right.
It happened today in the 7th inning. You had the opportunity to completely demoralize the Blue Jays, to steal momentum right back from them. You get the first 2 guys on in the 7th inning, and you don't even advance them to 2nd and 3rd.
Yep.
You don't even advance them an extra 90 feet. That, for me, is like, guys, do something. And how often how many times recently have we seen Gunnar and Ward get on to start the game, and then the next thing you know, Adley grounds into a double play and Alonso strikes out.
Yep.
Or Adley flies out to right, Alonso strikes out, and then Basayo grounds out to second base. It's when you get if you get the first 2 guys on with this lineup, the first 2 guys on to start the game, you better score a freaking run. How are you not with who you have in the middle of your order?
Right.
So there's just like these little things that still aren't coming together. But like, there's not really a weak spot in this lineup unless
you're facing a left-handed pitcher.
Unless O'Neill's playing, essentially, right? Because Blaze has been tearing the cover off the ball since the beginning of May. Cowser, that dude doesn't hit cheapies, man. It's either I posted on X today. It's either a majestic Ruthian clout or it is a piss missile that gets out in half a second.
Yeah.
And there's no in between. There's no wall scrapers.
I feel like Mayo's the same way.
Yeah, and Mayo is swinging a good bat right now. Here's my question: Dylan Beaver's about to go back out on the rehab assignment because they said that he's been hitting in the batting cages. So with a strained oblique, if he's hitting in the batting cages, that means he's not far off from seeing live pitching and going out on assignment.
Should be this week, I think.
I would imagine. When he's ready to go, one, is there any chance it's not Tyler O'Neill being DFA'd? Or they try to get something for him? Anything?
Let me ask you a wilder question. Is there room on this roster for Dylan Beavers to come back?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
With how Cowser's playing, how Leody Taveras is playing?
I think that you have to believe...
Like, obviously, Tyler O'Neill is easily cuttable, but is he?
I think he has.
He
to
is
be.
for us.
I saw somebody post it. I saw somebody post it earlier today that it may have been Zach Bollinger, but I could be wrong, or that Z Farm guy that said you're either paying Tyler O'Neill $33 million over these last 2 years to make your team worse on the field, or you're paying him $33 million to go away. To go away, and like by not playing him, your team is better at this point. So,
and O'Neill could be a guy that if he played every day could be halfway decent. We just don't know because he's not going to get the opportunity to play every day.
Yeah,
but
that was my
to
other
even that
question.
point though, like, can you throw another lefty in that outfield? Like, you obviously started the season like that, but now that Blaze he's. I don't want to say he's played okay. He's played okay in the outfield. He played better in left than he has in center, in my opinion. But that's another righty. Leody, I think, is fully earned center field at this point. Cowser has played outstanding. And I don't think they're going to cut O'Neill yet. I can't sit here and confidently say that Dylan Beavers has a spot right now.
So then... do they do with Beavers what they did with Holiday and what they did with Kjerstad until they just optioned Kjerstad back to the minors? Is it he's got...
You don't want that to happen, but I mean, like, realistically speaking here, like, I think we all want O'Neill to go away, but we all know he's likely not.
I don't know that he's likely not.
I
Especially
depends.
if Alvarez said this ain't working, we're doing it my way. Do you think he's really gonna give a damn that Tyler
He's
O'Neill
still
is?
not the one paying $16 million next year not be here.
Yeah, I don't.
That's a David call, in my opinion.
Yeah,
That's a David call.
I get that, but that guy's also what, like the sixth richest owner in all of baseball. If his baseball guys come to him and they're like, "Look, this was a bad signing. We own it. We just got to pay him to go away," is he gonna say no?
Maybe.
I don't think he will. I think he'll be like, "I do what you got to do." I legitimately think his answer would be, "Do what you got to do, but don't waste my money again."
Yeah.
You know,
You would hope. You would hope.
I think that's what he would say.
Because you want Dylan Beavers to be on this team. But who's he taking the bats from right now?
And that's fair. And it could be one of those things where it's like, hey, this is a 3-week rehab assignment. And
yeah, I mean, what if Kowser cools off again? Mm-hmm. Then your answer gets a little clearer.
And look, we're talking a 3-week sample size from Colton Kowser. Where have we seen that before?
Right.
You know, that's kind of what Kowser does. I think something looks different to me about Kowser. I don't see him flailing at off speed anymore. I don't see him.
Got a hold of him.
Yeah, I don't see him struggling with the changeup anymore. I don't see him mashing it, but I see him fouling those pitches off and getting more fastballs. He's forcing them to throw him more fastballs because they're not getting him out as easily with those secondary offerings. So like it feels different with Kowser right now than it did before. You know, so if you've got Kowser playing right field for you, like he's the best outfielder on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And is there somebody who has more power, more raw power? I don't think Alonso has more raw power than Kowser. I mean,
this is why I say this, right? Because we early on, like Kowser kind of looked lost. You threw him off speed and breaking ball. He was lost. Since Matt Holliday worked with him, off speed and breaking ball, we're talking changeup, split finger, forkball, screwball, curveball, knuckleball, slow curve, slider, sweeper, slurve. He's hitting 310 since May 15th on those pitches with a 569 slugging.
Wow.
Yeah. So, your eye test with Kowser, it's passing. You see it yourself. Mm-hmm. And the numbers are proving it. Again, with how good he's playing, is Dylan Beavers a guy that you're comfortable with getting 1 or 2 starts a week?
Probably not.
Right.
You know, and honestly, for all we know, he could be ready to go already. And they're like, we kind of got a good thing going in our outfield right now. Let's make sure you're 100% so this doesn't flare up again. Guarantee those exact words have been said verbatim to him. Let's make sure you're 100% so this doesn't flare up again. And then he has a 3-week rehab assignment.
Yeah.
You know, and then if Taveras is still playing well, if Kowser is still tearing the cover off the ball, and look, I don't need Kowser to hit. But he got drafted 5th overall. You want him to hit 280 with 35 home runs. A 5th overall pick who was drafted because of his bat. That doesn't
happen often, though.
You wanted, but if he hits 245 with 20 to 30 home runs and plays the best outfield defense that your team has, are you really upset with that? I'm not.
No,
I'm not. Especially when he hit 242 as a rookie and finished second in Rookie of the Year voting. It was how he got to that 242 because he hit like 370 the first month and then like 180 the rest of the year. This year it was 180 for a month and a half, and now it's 360 since then. So there's a difference between 2024 242 and 2026 242 for Colton Kowser right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference there. You know, so if this is the Colton Kowser that's here, man, I am all for it because that dude, every home run he hits is 107 plus miles an hour off the bat. Every single one of them. They go 420 plus every time.
His last 20 games, dude, he has the 8th highest K percentage on the team in the last 20 games.
Yeah, usually it's the highest.
The highest, yeah. He's well over usually at 34 to 36%. He's down to 22.
Mm-hmm. And you said that he's been working with Matt Holliday?
Matt Holliday came in after the Yankees series to work with him. But he worked out with him all offseason. Him and Jackson, and actually Beavers. They worked out together for a little bit out in Oklahoma. So Matt's seen something that he thought he could fix, and Donnie told him to come in. They're friends. Told him to come in and fix it. Fixed it.
Dude, and see, I love that. And you're talking to a guy in me that I want Matt Holliday. I probably never wanted a player to play for the Orioles that never played for the Orioles more than Matt Holliday. I mean, like, there were guys like obviously that were pipe dreams, but an attainable player to be an Oriole was Matt Holliday, and it never happened. And the fact that he has his fingerprints all over this ball club right now, I love it. I absolutely love it. You know, and like,
And it sucks. I see people asking, like, why didn't they hire him as a coach? But, like, there's, I mean, his kid's on the team. Like, it does make a big deal.
Well, but I
back
think
in the day with, like, Cal Senior and Cal Junior, it was a little different. In today's game, I don't think that'll ever fly.
But I think you're also the one who reminded me that, like, he became a hitting coach for the Cardinals or something like that, and lasted a month because he missed his family too much, and like spent his entire big league career away from them 7 months out of the year, 8 months really because they were in the playoffs every year. Like, he has to want to do it.
Well, I think, like, you think too, like, Jackson's playing, right? So he wants to see Jackson. He does have a third child. Ethan was also playing. He did now break his foot. He's out for the rest of the year. So maybe he hangs out. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. He was having a great year.
So maybe he hangs out, you know, with the Orioles a little bit more. But when Ethan's ready next year, like, he's going to want to go watch him too. He's a hell of a ball player. You know, it's different. And you can tell Matt's not a scumbag that, like, just doesn't care. Like, he's not doing this for himself. Like, he's all about his kids.
Well, and the thing is, like, so you got to pay Matt Holliday, you know, $500,000 to $1 million to be a hitting coach, or he's like, my son's on the team. Yeah, I'll come talk to Kowser for 20 minutes and remind him who he is. Like, I don't hate it, and not that it's not my money, and nobody gives a crap about having to pay him if they had to pay him, but, like, you don't need him to be a coach on this team. Like what he's doing is fine, and it's paying off. Kowser looks like
it's just an extra set of eyes, honestly. And sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, dude, Kowser just looks like he looks like a different player to me. It's like you said, you can see it on the field. I could see it before. It's like, this person actually made a mistake of throwing him a fastball when he can't hit a changeup. Now it's like, no matter what they throw him, he's getting a bat on it. Still struggles mightily against lefties. He looked pretty foolish after going 3-0. Yeah, he went up 3-0 yesterday against the lefty, and then ended up striking out on a pitch that was, like, nowhere close to the strike zone. That's going to happen. He's Colton Kowser. But, like, what he's doing
that needs to be studied for the whole damn team, though, because the whole team sucks against lefties. Even still, they just can't figure it out.
Except for Kobe Mayo. Kobe Mayo is another
Kobe's
planet.
6 for 12 with 2 home runs. He's smashing lefties, but, like, and Gunnar actually is too. I mean, Gunner's 10 for 35 since May 15th. So he's 286
against lefties.
Yeah, with 3 home runs.
That's surprising because I feel like he hasn't been able to hit lefties at all this year.
I know, but it's after Taylor Ward. Taylor Ward's doing okay, 276. It's a drop off. Like, I think this is kind of what Pete is in his career, 267. He's never really mashed lefties.
He's a career 230-something hitter against lefties coming into this year.
Yeah, but I mean, Tavares 263, Blaze 263, and then Basayo 230, and then this is where it drops off. Adley 185, Tyler O'Neill 136, Jeremiah Jackson 133, Weston Wilson 125, Holiday 091, Kowser 0. Now, granted, Weston Wilson and Kowser only have 7 and 8 at bats, but, you know, take that with what you will. But something about lefties, this team just can't hit, and it's been multiple coaching staffs now.
Yeah.
I don't know how do you even fix it? I don't know.
We got to talk Randall off the ledge. Like, they've been playing really, really well the last 2 weeks.
But they are, to his credit, they are still making bonehead mistakes.
They are. But, you know, we're not even halfway through the year yet, and let's get through these next, like, 16 games against some really, really good teams, and see where they stand. I'm not writing them off right now.
Yeah.
AJ wants to know, how did Matt Holliday do in his career versus lefty? 7-time Silver Slugger, 7-time All-Star, and a 4-time Silver Slugger. My guess, I'm going to look it up right now. My guess is that he was a damn good hitter.
I'm gonna say 270.
I'm gonna say he hit over 280 against left-handed hitters.
293.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
293 with an 894 OPS against left-handed pitching.
That's crazy. With almost 500 slugging.
Yeah, like
Different eras, but still.
dude, I mean, the guy's forearms are the size of most dudes' quads. Like,
I didn't realize he hit 300 career home runs.
dude, Matt Holliday was he was a good player, man.
He was.
He was so good. And Matt Holliday is one of those guys. When he finished playing in 2018, can you imagine pairing him in left field with Jones in center and Markakis in right?
Yeah.
How good that outfield would have been. I had like fantasies about that, man. Like,
Where do you think he played better? In Colorado or St. Louis? And the numbers are close. That's why I'm asking. Like, what put him on the map more?
St. Louis.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, he had a higher WAR, but yeah.
I like people. I think he got his start in Colorado, and people remember him in Colorado. But like,
Yeah.
he was next to Pujols and Molina, like the heart and soul of that lineup. It was like
He's a 293 career hitter for the Cardinals with 156 home runs and 616 RBIs.
dude, he was an absolute dude.
Yeah.
Like you want to talk about a guy who's he's just country strong, just tears the cover off the baseball. He plays good defense. I loved Matt Holliday, and like oh my God, man. I just wanted the Orioles to sign him so badly. So then when we drafted his son, I was like, all right, we got a Holiday. I'm cool. I think that's part of the reason why I want, aside from the fact that he's an Oriole and it was the first overall pick, I want Jackson Holiday to succeed so badly because of how much I love Matt Holiday.
Yeah.
You know?
He's a nice kid, too.
Yeah, he is. He is. Today's show brought to you by County Sports Zone. High school sports season has come to an end, but a reminder that all summer long, you can find the latest news about coaching changes and previews for football season by visiting countysports.zone. Countysports.zone is proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. Few more minutes to go here on the show. I promised my wife I'd be off early. She wants to watch Your Friends and Neighbors with me tonight.
My neighbors?
Yeah. Have you seen this show, Your Friends and Neighbors with John Hamm?
Haven't.
Dude, it's so good. Everything on Apple TV is like the best programming out there. If you have if you don't have Apple TV, whatever you do have, get rid of that and get Apple TV. And like they're not paying me to say that. It's awesome. But so the Orioles, we feel like they're probably going to need another starting pitcher, right? Probably going to need another starting pitcher. You feel like that they probably need to add another arm or two to the bullpen. Hopefully Housley comes back soon, and then you kind of get Rico back in the 8th inning, and Kittredge back in the 7th, and Nunez back in the 5th or 6th inning when you need him earlier in the ball game to kind of get guys back where they should be. What do the Orioles need more? Another starting pitcher or a strong back end reliever?
See, I'm different than everybody else. I like bullpen. Because, like, I feel like even the starters they have, they can get you through 5, I feel like. With this offense, they should be able to have more than 4 runs scored by the 5th inning, in my opinion.
They should. But how often do they struggle to score early?
Right.
The other game against Boston, notwithstanding.
Yeah. Obviously, a starter helps you big time. But do you want Jacob Webb coming out of the bullpen again? No. in a tight ball game in the playoffs. Like I'm not saying like him in general. I'm just saying like a Jacob Webb type who had a good season for you, but you always knew like he wasn't hot.
Yeah.
I think they need both. I don't think you can prioritize one over the other.
Kramer's not a guy that puts you over the top in your rotation. Kramer will help stabilize things, especially if Bassett's back is worse than we've been hearing. Because apparently, like, there's a good chance he's going to start tomorrow, from what I've heard. But like, we're talking about a game changing acquisition here, AJ. Not just here's our number 5 starters back. Well, actually, for this team, our number 7 starters back. It's we're looking for a game-changing player. Joe Ryan is having a great year. He's got a low threes ERA for a bad Twins team. Sandy Alcantara is having a solid. What's Sandy's numbers right now?
I thought they were pretty rough.
They were last year, but I think he got off to a good start this year.
Yeah, 4.33.
Yeah.
But I think that's gotten better.
Skubel's going to be on the trade block. What are you willing to give up to bring in Tarek Skubel? Because you're going to have to give up something.
I don't think we have what it takes, to be completely honest with you.
You don't think so?
No.
But because I think that what they would ask you for, you wouldn't be willing to give up.
They're going to ask for potentially 3 top 100 players.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not giving that up.
Yeah.
No, we don't have it. Well, I guess technically they do now because Duarte, I don't even know how to say the hell his last name, Josh or Duarza or something like that. The lefty they just drafted.
Yeah.
I can't say that last name. I'm going to have to figure that out soon because he's going to be here shortly. But nobody told me that. I'm just saying in general he's pretty good. But the Dodgers have it. The Yankees have it. You know, there's teams that have it. The Orioles don't. And you would have to give up from your major league roster for it to help. And I don't think they can afford it. I think their market would be Alcantara or Joe Ryan if something happened like that. And somebody asked me earlier, and I thought it was close. Not perfect, but I mean, Joe Ryan's a rental. And it was Joey. A lot of people know him. JF Catcher on Twitter. Orioles would get Joe Ryan. Twins receive Ike Irish, Creed Willems, and Nestor Herman. I'd do that. I don't know 100% if the Twins. I think you probably have to tweak that a little bit.
Are you getting rid of Ike Irish after you just traded Caden Bodine?
They like Anderson a lot.
Yeah.
Well, Ike Irish isn't even a catcher anymore.
Yeah.
He's full-time first base outfield.
He was your first-round pick, your actual first-round pick. And they traded Bodine. They traded away Slater DeBrun. You know, are you really trading each of your first 3 or 4 picks?
If I get Joe Ryan out of it, what do I care?
But if he's got a mutual option for next year, are you trading away those guys to get a half season of Joe Ryan?
If
2 months?
This is where I'm saying this is where you probably have to tweak it. If I know that I'm signing him, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care at all.
If you're signing him, absolutely. Yeah. Now, I look at Sandy Alcantara, and he's given up 3 earned runs or less in 1, 2, 3,
he got pooped
4,
on the other
5,
day.
6, 7, 8, 9 of his 13 starts. In all of the other starts, in the other four starts, 7 earned runs in 6 innings, 7 earned runs in 4 1/3 innings, 6 earned runs in 6 innings, 8 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings. So he's either going out there and giving you a quality start, or he's getting his tits ripped off.
Right.
Like it's one or the other for him. I don't know how much I want him, because that's
my target. Honestly, is still Jose Soriano. He's got a 2.96 right now. He's 7-4 with a 1.24 WHIP.
But he's under team control for a good while, right?
Don't care. Give up whatever you got to do because because it helps this year and next year and the year after that. That's why I don't care.
Give them a package that includes Tyler O'Neill and whatever other players you just named, and give me Mike Trout too.
No, I'd give up maybe Luis De Leon for it. I'd give up some hefty pitching for it because he's proven. And to me right now, he's a number 2 with a number 1 upside on a bad baseball team.
Are you willing to make a move to get Freddie Peralta from the Mets?
No.
And you don't think you think that's going to cost what it would cost to get Skubal essentially?
Yeah.
Somebody asked. I saw this, and this is just kind of like a fun little thing that I think that I'm thinking of. If you could have think about this team, and because you could easily just say Eddie Murray or Cal Ripken, and it's like, okay, think about what this team needs. If there was one Orioles player that you could bring to this team in their prime from any team in the past, who would it be?
One. I don't know. That's a tough call.
My answer would probably shock you.
I'm thinking my answer might shock you.
Okay.
Melvin Mora?
That's a good one. Melvin Moore is a good one. You're talking about a dude who still holds the franchise record with a 340 batting average, a guy who had 27 homers, 27 plus home runs, I think 3 times, drove in over 100 3 times, a 2 or 3 time All-Star.
Played multiple positions.
Yeah, Melvin Moore is a
Mashed
good one.
lefties.
Melvin Moore, and he played a good third base, man.
Very good third base, yeah.
You put Melvin Moore at third base. Ooh,
or left field, I don't care.
I really like that. Really like
Top
that.
of the lineup guy, maybe 1 or 2 hole.
Mine was Nick Markakis.
I love Nick.
Nick Markakis is one of my all-time favorite Orioles. I don't need Zach Britton's a good one.
Yeah.
Moose.
I tell you what, you're talking prime though. This was a tough one. Zach Britton was so good, but Jim Johnson was freaking good too in his prime.
Jim Johnson in his prime, though, everybody talks about he had. Somebody said people forget that Jim Johnson saved 50 games in back-to-back seasons, and
Adam Jones was talking about it.
I quote tweeted it, and I ended up deleting it because I didn't want to be negative. But the Orioles missed the playoffs in 2013 by like 4 games. Jim Johnson had 50 saves, but he blew 9 saves.
Yeah, I do remember that.
He blew 9 saves, and if he blows 4, they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, Zach Britton, 2016 Zach Britton, and basically 2014 to 2018 Zach Britton was
unhittable.
He was he was so nasty. But for me, I feel like this. Yeah, I would love for them give 97 Randy Myers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God, I loved Randy Myers, but he was only here for like a year or 2. You know. But you give me Nick Markakis playing right field every single day, Gold Glove defense, the stellar arm, and he hits in your 2-hole. He's like an actual 2-hole hitter. He can get runners over. He sprays the ball all over the field, and I'm talking like 2008 Nick Markakis that led the American League in WAR and hit 23 homers and drove in 112. That Nick Markakis.
And he just made everything look so effortless.
Oh my God,
beautiful.
man! You needed a base hit. You needed a gapper. You needed anything offensively, and Nick was giving it to you. And
or defensively.
And you put him in right field, and you didn't even have to think about it. The ball's hit out there, and if it's in the ballpark, he's making a play on it.
Yeah.
God, I love Nick Markakis, man. He deserved to play. He deserved so much more from this franchise. He deserved to play on some damn good teams, and they just never did it for him until it was the end of his tenure here. Yeah. He got 2 playoff appearances with this team. He got 1 playoff appearance with this team because he had a broken thumb in 2012.
CC Sabathia, that bastard.
Oh man,
I love CC though. He's a good dude.
He is a good dude. I love Nick Markakis, and you put Nick Markakis, you insert him into the 2-hole for this Baltimore Orioles team right now, prime Nick Markakis, and this team becomes suddenly the best team in the American League East. Like offensively, anyway, and he makes your pitchers better because he's so freaking good defensively. Love Nick Markakis. Like you could say Frank Robinson.
There's a lot of guys you could honestly say.
There's a lot of guys. You know what I mean? But for what this team needs, now everybody needs a guy that's going to hit 300 with 49 home runs. Everybody needs that. You know what I mean? But anyway, you got anything else for tonight's show, my friend?
No, man. I just keep chipping away. That's all I want out of the Orioles. Just keep chipping away, making little adjustments. It'll click, and it's already. I feel like it's clicked a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's still some adjustments that they can get better on, and this is why the season's 162 games because you should try to get better every single week. So I'm happy to the direction that they've gone since May 15th. Just keep it rolling, and just find a way to stop the bleeding on some bigger issues. But
prime Luis Matos, man, he had a good half season here in like 2005.
Luis Matos is what Jorge Mateo was.
Yeah, Jorge Mateo
for April of 2023.
Jorge Mateo's hitting like 290 with like an 800 OPS in Atlanta.
I know, but he don't play. He don't play a whole lot.
It's in like 46 at bats, but even still.
Yes, go give me Jose Soriano though.
Yeah.
That's my guy. He's 24 years old, and he's a free agent in 29. So you got him for what, another 2 years? So we'll say 2.5 years. What would you give up for that? For 2.5 years of a number 2?
2.5 years of a number 2 on this ball club with the team that you have right now. Because some of these guys
ain't
going
to have to pay an extra tax because of Grayson Rodriguez, too? Because we fleeced the living crap out of them.
Oh, man. I mean, we've been fleecing the Angels for years, though.
I mean, I feel like the whole league has, honestly.
Well, I mean, like, where did Kyle Bradish come from?
Yeah.
You know?
For Dylan Bundy, of all people.
Right?
We gave him Gary Matthews Jr., too, didn't we?
I think
that was a free agent signing, I think.
He wasn't any good for the Angels, though.
Yeah.
He was good in Texas. There was something else. Today's show brought to you by Leading Edge Auto Body. Your car is more than just a ride; it is an investment. Leading Edge Auto Body in Mount Washington, customer satisfaction comes first. Their team holds the highest honors in the industry, including ASE Master, iCar Platinum, and specialized aluminum certifications. And they make it easy with free towing, pickup, and delivery. So find out more at leadingedautobody.com. What would I give up for 2.5 years of Soriano? I'd have no problem giving them Kobe Mayo, along with Trey Gibson and DeLeon. Like,
that'd be a little lot, I think.
You're giving away 2 top on. I mean, I guess you probably have to, right?
But you probably have to, and think about.
Like, would you trade him Beavers?
Yeah, and again, I'm doing it because the next 2.5 years, you've got Basayo, Gunnar, Holiday, Kowser, Rutschman, all of those guys together.
You got to make a run.
With Bradish, Baz, and now Soriano at the top of your rotation. Like, you could win. You have a chance to win a World Series in those 2.5 years. You have a chance
at least.
You have a legitimate chance to win a World Series. So if you're telling me that I have to give up those guys to get a World Series, hell yeah, I'm doing that.
I know Paul's going to do it.
hell yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Like not a doubt on my mind. I'll worry about 4 years from now, you know, and I'll probably still be on this show bitching about something, you know.
I mean, you make a good point, man. Like, he's established at 24 years old. He's established, and he's high velocity. He's got control over multiple pitches. I mean, he pitches fairly decent into ball games, I think. I mean, even just his last 5, 7 2/3, 5 1/3, 6 2/3, 5, 4 2/3. He only had one stinker in the last 5, and they gave up 6 and 5 1/3.
He still got
it was
deep
against
in
the Dodgers, though. But I mean,
Um,
against Toronto, he went 7 2/3, giving up 1 run with 7 Ks. I mean, like,
the Mariners said that they're not trading from their top 5 starting rotation pieces.
They've said a lot of things over the years and did whatever the hell they wanted afterwards anyway.
Jordan Westberg, Brandon Young. Brandon Young's pitching really well, though. You know, like, and he's at the big league level.
I would trade Brandon Young for Soriano.
I mean, heartbeat. I think you'd have to if that's what they asked you for. If they asked you for Jordan Westberg, who has played a third of a season each of the last 2 years, or 2 of the last 3 years, and then or missed at least a third of a season, I meant to say, and then Brandon Young and a low level prospect for 2.5 years of Soriano, you absolutely have to do it. But I'm also not trying to take something out of my rotation. And on that note, Chris Bassett, when Kramer comes back, is he going to the bullpen?
Maybe.
I mean, he's got good experience there just from pitching out of the bullpen in the playoffs last year, especially if he's older now. Now that he's 37 and he's having the back issues, like shorter stints where he can just kind of let it eat and just be Chris Bassett for a short period of time. I don't hate it.
So here's my Jose Soriano pitch to you. His stats against the AL East in his career on the road. This is where I really like to get dirty. On the road in the AL East. He's got 8 starts. You want to take a wild guess at his ERA?
2.13.
2.86. He's given up 11 earned, 1 home run, 33 Ks in 34 innings with a 230 average against, with a 283 FIP and a 341 xFIP. On the road in the AL East.
Manny doesn't know what a FIP is. Did you
What?
see that? Did you see Manny Machado going off about what are these analytics? What's FIP? What's weighted on base percentage? Did you see that stuff?
Yeah, I made a long post about it and I deleted it. Manny, you're full of crap because we went over that stuff in 2010.
Yeah. I saw that post. You deleted it?
Yeah. You're full of crap, bud. It's a cop-out. Maybe a little angry with him, and I'm a big Manny fan. Maybe a little angry with him. You're blaming the wrong things for your struggles.
He said 165. 165.
And listen, the rest of your team is hitting okay. They're hitting okay. I mean, they're not the best offense in the world, but let's not go in here and blame analytics when San Diego's been using analytics for a while.
Mm-hmm. Everybody
blame the team not having a way, because this is a whole brand new coaching staff there too. They don't know how to translate it to the players.
Mm-hmm.
Don't blame the analytic.
Yeah,
I thought it was a cop out.
I think analytics have their place in baseball. I think sometimes there's too much of a leniency on them, but if you use them correctly and it helps you get the most out of your players, I'm all for them. AJ, what would you give the Giants for Logan Webb? My left nut. I would give my left nut.
Same trade I would do for Jose Soriano.
I love.
You got a guy who's proven.
Yeah, I absolutely love Logan. He's not having a great year, but I mean, he got off to a really bad start.
Yeah.
I think he gave up like 7 runs on opening day against the Yankees on Netflix. Let me.
Charm City Entertainment sent me a picture on MLB The Show trading for Jose Soriano for Mayo, Gibson, and De Leon, and the Angels said this offer was too good to pass up. Feel free to send more like it.
What was it? What was the trade again?
For Jose Soriano for Kobe Mayo, Trey Gibson, and Luis De Leon.
Yeah,
that's why we love video games.
Mm-hmm. 100, especially when you can force trades.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for us here on the Bat Around. Go like and subscribe to Zach's show and to my show on Pressbox. Thank you for tuning in every week. We certainly appreciate it. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Without you, we don't have a show. Thank you to all of our loyal listeners and viewers. Without you, we 100% do not have a show. You keep tuning in. We'll keep